When I know that I've been choosing to go with them to the north of Europe at the beginning, is just panic. But after there is a click inside his mind which says to him, this is probably the kind of experience that you should overcome. I suppose that I am an exotic actor, kind of, because of my accent, because of my skin and things like that. And I am very proud that I am playing an Arab. I was born in the south of Spain, very close to the Arabian culture. Morocco, clear days I can see Morocco from my house in the south of Spain. And I've been in a way related to them. I was riding a camel, I was dressing as an Arab, and I just looked to my right, and there was Mr. Omar Sharif. In 1970, for the first time in my life, I saw Lawrence of Arabia. I was 10 years old at the time, and nobody could say to me at the time that I was going to be riding a camel with Omar Sharif beside me, as they did in Lawrence of Arabia. That only one reason, made this movie worth it for me. Though the movie has many other different things, obviously. But that little tribute to Omar Sharif, great actor and a great person. Herger is the link for me from the beginning of the movie. He's the only guy at the beginning of the movie that knows Latin. So we can communicate with these guys through him. And he seems to be more open than the others, is a happy guy. The first attack that we're receiving here, we don't know exactly what are we fighting. And that creates an incredible fear, not in our minds as actors and characters of the story, but in the mind of the audience.
There's a certain kind of humorous attitude, a certain kind of stoicism, a kind of lightness in the face of adversity, a kind of willingness to see the world the way it really is and laugh about it anyway, that I see as distinctly Viking. I don't think there's any question that how this movie came to be is out of John McTiernan's passion. I mean, he really saw it clearly, saw what it actually was, which entertained me a lot. 20-something years later, somebody sees exactly what this movie is. But it's his vision and it's his enthusiasm that's bringing all this to light.
Not just an adventure, but an emotional one. Because it's based on real people on a very large scale, but every character has a reason for being in this picture. There are no token characters, you know.
I'm the link between our hero and the Vikings we meet because they have no common language. And this man that I portray is someone with some culture who speaks languages and therefore tried to communicate with the Vikings first in Greek, and he didn't get anywhere. Then he tried Latin, and he found one of them who spoke Latin. And therefore, for the first contact between Antonio and the Vikings is through the translation of this character of mine.
The things impressed me are how all departments work great together. You got the best set decorations, you got the best light, and when you see some of the best makeup, the best hair, you know, and when you see some of the pictures from this show, it amazes me how overwhelming it's been with smoke and flames, and you know, it's sometimes you have to pinch yourself in the arm and think, am I a part of this, you know?
He was a young politician, and they punished him by sending him off to be an ambassador in God knows where. On the way, he falls in with these people, so that it's through his eyes that you see the whole thing. And his eyes actually were very contemporary. We kind of at first left it up to Antonio. I sent him a script, and I said, you could play either one of these guys. You'd be great at it. Are you interested in it? And he said, absolutely. And then he sort of said, I think I should play that. No, I should play that one. No, I'm really more like that one. No, in the end, he wanted to play the art very clearly. He didn't have doubts about it. Well, I wanted to get as many real Scandinavians in it as possible. And kind of the notion of the original discussion with the studio is there's going to be one person in this movie that you know, that the audience knows, and he's the cosmopolitan Arab. And the rest of them are genuinely foreigners. One of the reasons you make a movie like this is to go to a place that you can't get to otherwise. And, you know, it sounds silly, but if one person can't get there, think of how difficult it is to get 250 people in a movie company there. By definition, it's going to be a very difficult place to get to. It's an action movie. Mm-hmm. It's just that the environment that it's in isn't a contemporary one. It's one that you haven't seen.
When it says Vikings 922 AD, you go to the library and you get out all your books, and you find out that women in that time really ran the fort because the men were all killed off or took off for the wars. So women did pretty much everything.